Assignments in Moodle 4.5 are very much the same with some additional setting options and some differences in the placement of certain menu items when looking at student submissions. Let's walk through this process from the start. First, let's create an assignment, preview it as a student would see things, and then grade a student submission. First, when in edit mode, you will notice the activity resource prompt is now a button rather than an elongated tab. When we click on that, you'll find that this activity chooser is very much the same, with assignments up at the top as things here are organized alphabetically. Once we click on our assignment, we're brought to the same type of form where we need to fill out the assignment details such as name. We can add a description, we can add the activity instructions, and upload a file. If you typically provide assignment details in one of these two boxes, for example, anything written in this descriptions area will be visible to students as soon as they click into the assignment. You can even opt to make this description visible for them right on the main course page under the assignment link if you prefer. The activity instructions will only appear once the students click on the submit button, so more than likely when they are getting ready to submit their work. So if you want them to see these instructions well before that point, choose the descriptions box. Of course, the other option is to upload an attachment here with your assignment requirements and any other files they will need to complete the activity. The same date and timeline requirements can be set here under the availability settings. Scrolling just a little bit down, one specific setting that has been enhanced is that under submission settings, you can allow students more than one attempt as before, but when you select the number of attempts you want, whether it's unlimited or say for example 4, under the grant attempts dropdown, you are now given the option of automatically. So instead of just manually allowing attempts, which require you to actually confirm that yes, in fact, they can now submit another attempt, automatically will trigger their ability to submit a new attempt after you have provided them with some initial feedback. So if they submit their first attempt and you have either given them a grade or even have just left them feedback, it will trigger for them the ability to resubmit again. In addition, you'll find these other assignment settings to be very similar. For example, under grades is where you'll issue the grade type, and if you're using the points grade type, the maximum number of points for the grade. You'll also have the completion conditions, the restrict access settings, and the Turnitin plagiarism options still here in the assignment settings, as was the case before. The assignment serves as both a Dropbox for receiving student submissions as well as a grade item which automatically links over into the gradebook once it's created. A student will see the assignment from the main course page as a link, and as you can see here, a description appears since this was set up as something an instructor can opt to display on the main course page when they are setting up and creating the assignment. Let's go ahead and map what the instructor sets up to how students will see things once they click into an assignment. At the top, we see the availability. The next thing is the actual description of the assignment that we've created. And directly below that is the file attachment that we uploaded to the assignment as the instructor. The activity instructions will only appear once the student clicks on the Add Submit button. So as you can see here now, this same line of text which was added to the activity instructions appears once we click on Add Submission. So if there are instructions that need to be seen as soon as the student clicks on the assignment, best to put it in the description box. As the student, now that I've clicked on Add Submission, I can go ahead and grab my file. This interface is the same for students as it is for instructors as far as uploading documents. And once they've uploaded a file, the student will select the Submit Assignment. They'll get one final confirmation to submit. And then they'll receive a submission status message that their assignment has been successfully submitted. When you go into an assignment as the instructor, you'll notice in the Moodle 4.5 upgrade that viewing all submissions is now available on the assignment menu bar. If we click on Submissions, the overall look and feel of this area is mostly the same, but some placement of options has changed. For example, all of the filtering is now at the top here. There is a new Search Users field. The Filter by Name is a drop-down. And the Quick Grading option is easily accessible right here at the top as well. So what I can do is click on Quick Grading and it gives me input boxes immediately right here on this page. I don't have to click further into the grade area to look at submissions one by one. If I want to drill down and look at each student's submission individually, instead of a grade button, I now have a drop-down menu under the grade column. So I can click on that and select grade, and that will jump me into each student's submission where I can begin doing some grading and providing feedback. Next to the grade drop-down, there's also this secondary drop-down, which is where you'll find a grant extension if you want to give that specific student extra time, and also the revert the submission to draft option here as well. By selecting the student names, you'll notice at the bottom a footer will appear which provides some bulk editing options. Under the More, you'll find again Revert to Draft. You'll also find where you can upload feedback to multiple students at once. There's also the delete option, and you can download multiple student submissions at once over here as well, and also lock the ability for students to continue to submit assignments if needed. You'll notice the status of these two are slightly different. That's because I've already gone in and provided some feedback on the student's initial submission, and that automatically reopened it for them to submit another attempt. Let's go ahead and do that for this second student. So if I click over and look at their submission, whether I want to issue a grade or if I'm not quite ready to grade and I just want to leave them some feedback, I can go ahead and save this, and as soon as I update the submission with that information, it's going to trigger that secondary submission for students, since I've set it to automatically allowing multiple attempts. Once I do that, a new attempt will open up for the student on their view of the submission page.